Anything can go wrong will go wrong. We are in a real coffee shop in the sunny Seattle. This is Michael, our special guest today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm the founder of ShadowTraffic. I did a previous company that I sold to Confluent. Kind of head of product in stream processing for Confluent. So I worked on ksql, I worked on Kafka streams, and a couple of other things. It's like number one, try to sell your product before you build it very much.
I know this can be a tricky or spicy question. That is, do you think what kind of challenges or roadblocker for more data engineer adopt streaming?
That's cool.
You like it?
Yeah.
Yeah, anything can go wrong will go wrong. But again, nothing beats a real conversation with nice coffee with someone. I chat a lot on the LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I learn a lot from your LinkedIn post, and we also in our private chat.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind, we'll get started.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Hi everyone, this is the other episode of the Streaming Caffeine, and we are in a real coffee shop in the sunny Seattle. No rain today. I drive from Vancouver, and this is Michael, our special guest today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm the founder of ShadowTraffic. My background is in software engineering. I think over the last 10 years, I kind of gravitated towards the technical founder role. I did a previous company that I sold to Confluent. I spend a lot of my time in stream processing, interested in streaming data.
That's awesome. Yeah, and you work on the company or the product called ShadowTraffic for how long?
About 6 or 7 months. Yeah, I left Confluent. What I really wanted to do was help people create synthetic data.
Yeah.
I had just noticed over the years that an engineering team I was with, a sales team I was with, a developer advocacy team I was with, we were always trying to create synthetic data for one reason or another. And it was already hard, but in streaming data, it's like a lot harder just because you actually need to synthesize the data as it comes in. You can't just put it in a file and away you go. And so, I found the opportunity to do a niche company here, and it's been pretty successful so far. I've really enjoyed working with companies that use Kafka and really just solving this problem rather than trying to solve it again for the 8,000th time.
Oh, nice. ShadowTraffic is a really good name, very impressive. And I'm also very impressed for the way you run your company. Are you the only solo founder? And also you share all your lessons more like, hey, I built this company kind of in a very transparent way on LinkedIn or social media. So can you share about your working model, stuff like that?
Yeah, I had done an investor-backed company in 2016, and that was a lot of fun because I got to hire some good friends, and we got to spend money and do big things. At this phase of my life, I really wanted to try to see if I could make a niche business that is a product, so something that can make money while I sleep.
Do you think a niche is a challenge? It's a shortcoming? It's a good thing?
I think it could be sort of anything. You can do a big business, you can do a small business. I wanted to do the smaller business this time.
Yeah.
You can make a big business out of a niche. I think you could just start there. That's always a good idea.
Okay.
But I just wanted to pick something that was a product because I feel like I love making products. I've been an entrepreneur my whole entire career.
Yeah.
And then B, I just came out of Confluent, which is a fairly large company, and I really wanted to see, am I any good at this, or was this sort of just kidding myself? And so just doing it solo was a great way to put this to the test and see, for a problem that's scoped for one person, can I go out and do it? And I've been happy with the results.
Yeah, cool. And by the way, share with the team a little bit that is what kind of product you work on in Confluent?
Kind of head of product in stream processing for Confluent. So I worked on ksql, I worked on Kafka streams, and a couple of other things. But yeah, I mostly did stream processing for 4 or 5 years, which was a lot of fun.
Okay, cool. Again, stream processing, Template is one of the vendors in that space, and we feel like it's really getting bigger, but somehow a lot of people still struggling on the batch stuff, how to run better or kind of more frequent batch stuff before they're considering streaming, and there's a lot of nuances on streaming, and you even work on something, it's not just for streaming, but can really be one of your strengths to fit in that streaming space to have the contextual, meaningful data for different streams, right?
It's nice to see the evolution of stream processing. I think it still has a ways to go to really break out to the mainstream, but it's come a long way since I started working in this area in 2013 or something like that, where it barely worked and it was kind of just an idea.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and even I guess we have the chance to work together, leverage your technology also on this NetSmart thing, right? It's been there for a long time. I don't know, maybe it's 12 years or 20 years, whatever, but it's not good enough. It's well known, but I guess maybe we can somehow either reinvent NetSmart or push this to next level.
Yeah.
Have this more meaningful stuff. Yeah, and do you think this AI require a lot of kind of synthetic data or real data? I guess the people have very different opinions sometimes, right? So,
Yeah, I mostly focused on kind of like structured data for simulation testing, so I haven't really dabbled in the AI space. I have noticed a lot of people asking like, hey, I need to train this LLM and fine tune it, and so like I don't have enough data to actually do that. It's something that I might dabble in. Like it's a problem for sure. I don't know how well you can actually train an LLM on synthetic data. I've heard of some papers that just show like after a couple of iterations it actually doesn't perform very well at all. So I actually don't know, but it is a real problem that there are people who need to like train on data that they don't yet have.
yeah, if not really for LLM, but for those traditional machine learning or data science work, I know some engineering team they prefer grab some data from the real system and remove those sensitive parts and create more data with a similar pattern. Say, for example, if 5% people will return the goods or complain, they want to keep the similar pattern of the ratio, but still not really, hey, this is a full bar, and they want something real, and the model can be further refined. So I guess they have even maybe pay a lot of money for such service. I guess
It's tricky.
Yeah.
I mean, you may not be in production yet, so you may not even have the data. If you do have the data, you have to ask yourself, is it even legal to use it in that way if it's your customer's data?
Yeah.
You know, it's probably behind a completely different network and security layer of your production than your development environment. So it's full of like really tricky spots where, yeah, ideally you just sort of yank production data and make more of it, but like it doesn't always seem to work that way.
so. Back to your sharing on the linking side. You share a lot. I mean, I may read some of them, but I cannot guarantee you read all. But it's very good. I mean, it's really very nice
It's hard to get away from.
No. I mean, keep doing this. I mean, I learn a lot because I mean, people may have different paths, but there's a lot something in common. And I wish I saw that 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But among all those sharings, or even something you haven't shared yet, I mean, if you highlight a few things, I don't know, maybe that would be 3 or 5. What do you want to share, like, for the audience?
I get asked by founders now and again, kind of what have you learned over the years? I would say, like, number one, try to sell your product before you build it very much. Like, fundamentally, building a product is a game of people. Like, unless people actually use it, it doesn't matter. And that game is much harder than sales. You actually have to go out into the world, convince people to use it, make sure that they have time and budget and motivation to do that. And that's like a whole set of skills all by itself. And then maybe the other thing I would say is that this build in public thing, it's fun and I think it's helpful, but like more than anything, it's great marketing. Like people learn and they get to hear about me through it, and so like it's just purely a win for everybody. So there's no reason to go into stealth almost. I think it's a very bad idea. I think you should basically be as open as you possibly can with what you're doing. There's just no downside. I can't think of anyone who would kind of rip off your idea and steal it up underneath you. Mostly the risk is that you don't actually get enough customers, and so it's a way of hedging against it.
Is there any case that is, I watch your LinkedIn post and I want to be used a customer, but it's a trial product that happen a lot?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, people contact me. They like this slow burn where like some people will immediately have the problem. They'll contact me, and that's great. And then I get this whole set of users who are watching me for a long time, and they're like, "This is cool. I don't have a problem now, but in like 4 months they've been watching me, and they're like, okay, I've got the problem now, and I trust this guy because he's been an open book the entire time."
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely this like long-term play that pays dividends over time.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe some clients they prefer not to be mentioned, but you have so many different choices, and
within
it's
privacy,
okay.
never mention the customer names unless they don't want to.
Yeah.
But like you can share a lot without dropping customer names. You can talk about how your day's going, what's challenging, what's working well. It's easy to be open, actually.
I guess it's also give you some extra pressure in a good way. That is, hey, I need to work on my diet. I need to run every day. That if you make it very public, you feel bad if you don't do it.
Yeah, it's like I don't want to fail, so I would hate to have a post one day that's like, oh, it didn't work, roll it in. It would be one thing if the business didn't work, but it's another like if I didn't try, and just being public about it makes me try a whole lot harder. I think it's good.
Yeah. Sometimes I even say, cool. I'm going to publish this blog end of this week or next week. I feel like a pressure. Even I always can find an excuse not to work on it, but come on, I already mentioned it.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Yeah. It's a very fast way to learn. I mean, if you're in charge of everything, like I'm doing this solo, you get immediate feedback on everything that you do, every marketing post, every feature you build, every closing conversation you have, and you can't help but learn because if you fail, it's basically your fault. You know, sometimes there's variance and there's luck, but mostly I see the spots where it's like, oh, I didn't do very good there, and I have to go, up my skills, and it's great. It's just been being like a hyper accelerator to learn.
Okay. So on the streaming side, you work on ksql and Kafka stream. I think right now Confluent also invest a lot on the Flink-based solution.
Yeah.
I know this can be a tricky or spicy question. That is, do you think what kind of challenges or roadblocker for more data engineer adopt streaming? Is that too expensive, too hard, too many concepts?
It's a very tough question. I mean, I spent many years working on this. I do think it's sort of a limiter in use cases right now where like, in the beginning, the thesis was like stream processing was too limited. And so we worked on the APIs for maybe like 3 or 4 years. We added things like larger state stores and the ability to process faster and just generally more expressivity so you could do more with it. And then we did that, and the adoption like wasn't mainstream. And so then the thinking was like, okay, it's operationally hard, which is true. You have to run the cluster and you have to like get everybody set up. And that's now being solved. I kind of worry that even when that's solved really well, maybe that won't be enough because like the long tail is, how many use cases truly need stream processing as a critical thing. And I wonder until kind of the whole cohort stream processing companies goes and solves this, that probably is the limiting factor. Like, where can you drop this in? What verticals does it make sense? I do think it's almost more of a product question than an engineering question at this point. It's a very hard one.
Yeah. Again, there's a lot of theory. Right? For example, like batch is a special case for streaming, and if you run streaming job correctly, it can be even more cost effective, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Or reduce the amount of data you keep rescanning. So again, we have a lot of good points, but
the cost could be a big one. I mean,
everyone buying it.
Yeah, cost is important right now for everybody. I talked to a lot of companies, selling ShadowTraffic, and like cost is always top of mind. So if there was a solid cost optimization play that you could easily adopt, I think that would be huge for stream processing.
Yeah, and also streaming processing sometimes it's hard to verify the correctness.
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
because you run a count, it's always coming new data, some from your ShadowTraffic, some from real data, and you might have to simulate or manipulate the event time, all those stuff.
It's much harder.
Yeah, it makes the verification much harder, data quality, schema change. Yeah, the list can be on and on.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think is the limiter?
Yeah, I would say definitely there's a new concept, schematics in the streaming more than the batch world. And also, for example, we have some clients on the trading side, right? They have a strong need that if I can get this trading signal generated fast enough, or I can figure out this potential risk, then it's a good thing. But again, those are more like high-end use cases.
Yeah, very mission critical.
Yeah, some people may have, I just want to move data from A to B. Yeah, you can apply either a small batch or streaming. The entire industry spends some time on different innovation on the batch side.
Yeah.
And the people already invest, and they don't want, hey, I want to get rid of all my batch and start a new stack. So for us, 10 plus, we relative get some better chance to win for those people who have no legacy.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm a sub company. I work on Web3. I don't care stuff like data warehouse or Airby or DBT stuff. I just want the real time OHLC, all the stuff. They're okay to use the new technology.
Yeah.
But if people already have very heavy, no matter data warehouse, CSV file, or a lot of the pipeline, they want solve that problem first.
I think like another way to put what you're saying is that if there was no difference in program model between batch and streaming, you'd always pick the streaming implementation because it's always net better. I think that divergence between what you have to do to actually get the benefits of streaming are just so big right now that most people don't make that choice yet. And so I guess it's a question of how much do you have to narrow that gap for it to just make sense to do it.
Yeah, and the technology there's no really good enough standard, right? So for example, the way you run ksqlDB workload, the way you run Flink, the way you run Tempest, there's similarity for sure, but still there's some difference, right? So people move from a product to the other product, a project to the other project, they have to adapt to, check the documentation, check the sample data, and try to by themselves.
Yeah.
We try a little bit to have this kind of extension to the CQ standard, but it's very hard.
It's hard changing that kind of thing.
So for example, like when we work on that streaming CQ extension or work group, there's the other kind of brother or sister group working on the graph database extension to the SQL, I noticed, is that last week or last month, they finally published it.
Oh, cool.
So that team make good progress, even it takes maybe 2-3 years, but they made it happen to have a new standard on the SQL extension side regarding the graph.
Yeah.
But streaming, still, there's a lot of different opinions.
Yeah.
For example, Snowflake, they have this, I don't know, dynamic table or some refresh.
Yeah.
Some other system like Template, we have this continuous view, and then for example, Flink never have notorious view, but they have some workaround, sending data to Kafka and the JS, stuff like that. So this adds some extra learning effort for the end user or developer. It can be also one of the reasons.
Yeah, I think there's been so much proliferation in the space of different role implementations that no one's really willing to like kind of give it up and pick a standard, and it's kind of hard.
Yeah, but again, it's also a cool thing that is some team, they really want to build a forward thinking / future proving system. They don't want to have too many different lambda architectures like that. If the streaming can be handling both batch and streaming, that'll be good. Yeah, and also that is as a stock company, it's really shape you depends on which customer you talk to first.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, you may not be lucky enough to talk to all the person you want to talk. There's always some connection, background, or luck.
Yeah.
But those people are coming from those early customers can shape you in a great way. Or you can always say no, but if you say a lot of no, you lose the chance to verify your assumptions. That's also the fun part of the challenge part of the stock company, right?
I think it's fun. You have to decide in all this uncertainty, what do you do? You have like a million different paths you can take, and some of them close down, but you just have to pick and embrace that kind of uncertainty.
Maybe to closing this part, and today I'm coming from Vancouver to join this unstructured data and LLM meetup organized by Zilliz, and I'm going to share a little bit about how to grab those real-time data coming from like social feed or some other databases, and you can put this into Kafka and run some streaming SQL to filter, aggregate it, and generate those embedding and send to back database. You can do some magic stuff there. I hope that's one of the use cases for apply streaming with this big trend of AI.
Absolutely.
And you also mentioned that some of the company started considering using ShadowTraffic to do the better demo or have a more live system, more than just the system is live, but also the data is also live.
Yeah.
Right. So do you see there's other ways to marry this streaming with the AI wave?
It's hard to say. I mean, I worked on this a little bit at Confluent at the end of my tenure there. I mean, our thesis was that any kind of a conversational app that's going to work with humans is something important. It actually has to have like an up-to-date view of the world, and that like necessarily involves streaming, just kind of getting all that data in. So like the example that we kind of theorized was maybe you have a conversational agent at like a website for flights, like Alaska Airlines. If you had like a chat that's there saying like, hey, my flight was canceled, help me rebook a new flight, and just talk me through it. The conversational UI would actually have to have an updated view of like, well, what are all the planes and what's the booking criteria and all that kind of stuff. And so it seems like an essential part of the picture. I guess that all hinges on how badly do people actually want those conversational agents driving these like very critical workflows, and I think they probably do, but that's kind of where I see it fitting in.
Yeah, there's even a theory of, for some people, it's a hope that is in the near future, it's not you to open different browser and check different website. It is the agent. You have a bunch of agents, and those agents talk to the other agents, and the agents figure out what's going on for the movie and give you, I already booked tonight's movie, and just go, and maybe I can drive for you.
Sounds hard to debug, but it could happen. Seems like a debugging nightmare, though.
Yeah, you make less research, even make less decisions. You just do whatever the agent thinks is best for you.
Yeah, scary world.
Yeah, it requires a lot of AI and real time. Yeah, it's good to live in the future, but sometimes we also need to unplug all the things and just read a normal book, play a D&D game with your kid.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting time. We are very lucky to in the process of this huge change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, Michael, I'm so glad to talk to you.
Yeah,
and,
likewise.
Nothing beats kind of real meal in the life and also the coffee side. And
yeah.
okay, cool. So that's the episode for Stream Caffeine, and hopefully we can find other person to join the episode to share their story. And next time, bye.
Bye. That's cool.
You like it?
Yeah.